saw you dancing like heavy smoke. Have you fixed that treasured heart that's so broke? Here isn't safe, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody is listening? Heaven is getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. Do you wanna feel alive? We are so what's the rush? Feeling like a dream. Who will we be crying for tonight? We lost but never found. Fear is not around. We can't turn this world around. This will be the end of treason as we know it. This will be the death of anger, 'cause we won't show it. Here isn't safe, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody's listening? Heaven is getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. Do you wanna feel alive? We are, so what's the rush? Feeling like a dream. Who will we be crying for tonight? We lost but never found. Fear is not around. We can't turn it.
Yes, guys, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Hope everyone's doing well. And yes, you have got the right channel. As you can see, the channel has been rebranded a little bit now. Yeah, we're going down the Liverpool Chats TV route. Yeah, so might take people a little while to get used to it and realise that I am live.
Can I ask
But yeah,
for the inspiration behind it? I like it, by the way. I think it looks great, and I like the professional aspect.
yeah.
But what was the thinking behind it? Is it? Can I guess one thing?
Go
Because
on,
we
mate.
chat about Liverpool.
Yeah, could you say yeah, yeah.
That's
You
what
know,
I love. It's just that simple. It's easy to
Yeah.
understand.
So when I started the channel, obviously I wanted to talk mostly about Liverpool, but other football as well.
Yeah.
But as the channel kept going and going and going, I just spoke about Liverpool. So I thought, you know, I need to rebrand it a little bit because I need it to be more Liverpool central.
Yeah,
And yeah, I just thought Liverpool Chats TV just sounded good. And
it does.
you know, and if people want to search for it and put Liverpool in YouTube, I'm probably easier to find that way as well. So
I like the
you know,
strategic thought behind it as well. Yeah.
God, you know, put
Well,
all
we're
that.
not
in
just
thought.
passion merchants over here, fam. No, we're not just passion merchants. Trying to run a sustainable business.
That's it,
Speaking-
sustainable.
Speaking of sustainable businesses, by the we have had one for 15 years of sustainability, my friend. That's a transition and a
15
half.
years.
Don't say that the chemistry's not booming here, Jay. Come on,
it was
mate.
a smooth transition into that.
Smooth criminal.
Smooth as you like. As you see, guys, it is Wednesday night. So, of course, it's Wednesday night. So, it's me and Mr. James Redmond. How you doing, my friend? You
Gosh.
doing well?
Glad to be
Good.
back. Been a while since we've done the show, so it's good to be back. We just said there, but there's not much to talk about, but we'll find a way to fill in an hour
We'll
gap
find some
and talk
stuff.
about Liverpool for sure. Because you know what, Jay, I feel like we again, as we always do, therapeutic session. I feel like we need it because the fan base is off its head, and it's annoying me. And this is sort of
It annoys me, man. It annoys me.
but we can go in chronological order. We can start off with the ownership and whatever, but everyone needs to shut up. I'm fuming. I am mad.
The Liverpool, obviously, having no international break, we talk about the same thing quite a lot. I can't keep talking about Arne Slot's tactics every single video, and I've done as much as I can on that. I think we all have to be absolutely fair, and it is what it is. But all this slot out stuff, slot must go. It's mental to me, man. Because it all can change around in 3 weeks. That's the mad thing about football.
And
like Liverpool could go on a 5 winning streak, and Arsenal could drop points, and then you're all looking. It all looks completely different. So
it will. Do you know anyone who has any sort of knowledge about the game? Right, they're not worried because realistically, that's why Virgil said it. You know what I mean? It's just like it is what it is. Like we'll get through this, and we will. Like we've got far too many good players. We've just got a lot of them who've come in recently, and it's made a big change in the squad. Yeah. It's a mixture of problems. Some of the problems is we don't understand each other yet. The chemistry isn't quite built. You know what I mean? If you want to use a bit more modern terminology, and then when you consider the fact that pre-seasons have been a big thing. McAllister, who usually is considered our best midfielder, and maybe not by yourself, but by a lot of the fan base. I think on his best day, he's our best midfielder, and he just hasn't had his best day yet. And same when it comes to Isak, who never had a pre-season, but I think we all still agree we everything that we had to do had to be done to get that signing over the line, and for the long term, it's going to be beneficial. And that's just what people are missing. It's like I understand it's nice to win week to week, and it's not nice to lose 3 games in a row, but keep your heads on, you know what I mean? Like we are secure for this season to compete. We are secure for the long term to win loads and loads of trophies. And I think that's what people are missing when it comes to the Arne Slot discourse. I'm not saying it's not. Criticise him. People are saying to me, "Oh my God, why are you having a go at me criticizing?" See the way these people get so twitched up in their emotions, Jay. It's like I'm not talking to you. Criticise tactics. Recent form from last season to this season, the reasons behind that. I think Slot has already acknowledged these reasons in press conferences, about the fitness last year and whatever. And I could go on. But to conclude, I just think it's absolutely short-sighted. And I think if you look at the long term, it's bright. It's good. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's just not great. It just hasn't been great. And that's all right. Know what I mean?
I'm with you, man. Totally with you on that. Before we get to the FSG talk, obviously, there's some news out there with Schlotterbeck, is it? Nico Schlotterbeck, the Borussia Dortmund centre back. David Lynch bringing it up today. I think James Pearce have been talking about. I think quite a lot of Liverpool journos have been talking about this, and they feel like this is one that could happen, in the summer as Virgil van Dijk's successor. Now, obviously, he had that. Did he have an ACL? Is it an ACL he had last season?
Yeah, I think it was obviously the cow.
Yeah, the cow curse, wasn't it?
Yeah, and, the cow curse.
Look, he's coming back from his injury. Obviously, Bayern Munich are sniffing around. Of course, they are. He's German, and he plays for their rivals. What do you think of this? Do you think this is something Liverpool might actually be looking at? Because we do have to we have to all one day realise Virgil van Dijk, unfortunately, is never going to play for us.
No.
I don't want that day ever to happen, to be honest. But, it's one of them things, man.
Jamie, no.
I don't want it to happen.
No, but Jamie, I'll fight people. I will.
Age is real. That's the problem. Age is a real thing.
Jamie, I will go insane. He needs to go till he's 40. All right. And if that means not signing Schlotterbeck, sorry, Nico, enjoy Bayern. Like, they're playing well at the moment. Do you know what I mean? They're doing good things. So, but I'm telling, listen, in all seriousness, do I think Schlotterbeck is great? Yes. But again, though, like, what are we doing next year? We dropping Virgil. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's something that you can't decide right now. So I think he's shortlisted, but the idea, there's so many hurdles that you've got to get over. How much would he be? How old is he? Do you know his age?
25, isn't he?
25. So he is prime
age. Yeah, he's 23, 24.
Yeah, that's a great age. So based on the data and everything, that suits what we're looking for. And he is a leader, and he has proven himself in the Dortmund team. He's got all the qualities that you'd want from a centre-back who's well-rounded. I like him. I really do. And I do think he'd be a great Virgil replacement. But what do you do next year? Do you move Virgil to the right and put him on the left? That's the first
Oh,
question.
no,
And then
no.
the second question, will Bayern get him?
Yeah, well, that's got to be the obstacle in our way, isn't it? But
Because we
Wirtz
do
was meant to
forget,
be
you
the
know what I
obstacle.
mean? Like, okay, we got Wirtz, but I think some Germans just do want to play for Bayern Munich for the sake of it. Bear in mind, Schlotterbeck hasn't won the Bundesliga like Wirtz has. He hasn't won the cups and stuff like that. He hasn't won anything. I think he played in a Champions League final with Dortmund, and that's as far as his achievements have gone. Maybe he's won a cup.
With Wirtz at Liverpool, though, you might look at it and
No,
think,
you are right. No, you're right.
You might look at it and go, you know what? That might be the place to go.
Do you know what the neutraliser is? What does Arne Slot say to you? Because I think Arne Slot was a big reason why these players signed in the first place. And I think that's why
they all said it, didn't they?
Even to correlate that to the current situation, the 3 games on the bounce with losses, yeah, it's not going to feel nice to the players, but I think the players are still calm. Do you know what I mean? So people might think that Schlotterbeck's not attracted to us or something. No, remember what we've just done. Do you know what I mean? We are a different football club now. And we've got every chance to sign Schlotterbeck, but yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Yeah. It depends. Loads of things. Come into it.
There's another centre-back as well. So David Lynch believes Mark Gay will happen in the summer, no matter what. So Schlotterbeck, Gay in the summer.
You see in the journalists starting to quote Paul Joyce more now, because Paul Joyce said that at the beginning of the season, or when the window finished.
Yeah, when the window finished, he said Liverpool will still get him in the summer for free.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool, Mark Gay, have done a deal and said, look, if you still want to come to us next summer, let's do the deal now and highlight
like
it in
Trent
the summer.
Real Madrid.
Yeah, a bit like that, but Gay a bit more respectful. I think it might be. Look, Slot obviously likes him. Yeah. I think Kanate's going to leave.
I think Kanate's going to leave. By the way,
I don't think Liverpool rate him. I don't think the club rate him as highly as some fans do.
I don't think they're willing to go above 200. I also wouldn't be surprised if they're not willing to meet 200. I wouldn't be surprised if they're offering him about 160, 170. Do you know what I mean?
I just is Kanate on his day? Kanate is a 200 grand a week centre back, yeah. But not on his day. He's, I don't know. I think the club might look at him as replaceable, and if he doesn't want, if he does, and the club are not going to bend over to a player's demands anymore. They're just not.
I'll summarise it, because I think people would be more upset at your opinion. Not that they should be, but I think they would be more upset because there's a lot more sympathisers with Kanate. I'm in the middle. I think Kanate's a really good centre back. Like, if he signs a contract tomorrow, I would be over the moon.
Yeah, he's not a good player. He's just not the player.
Do you know what category he goes in for me? The Diaz category. Like, Diaz, I wanted Diaz to stay, to be honest. Because I felt he was going to have his best season this year, and I felt we could have benefited off that and the fact that we was quite short on the left. However, he wanted the move, so the club couldn't do nothing. The club stated they wanted to keep him, and he still went. Kanate is, I think, navigating a move. I think that's obvious. I think he's already fell for the Real Madrid project in the pitch and everything like that. I think that's all done. And I think that's why the longer that we don't see this contract being sorted, and it's just little talks and, the little joke that he made about Mbappe, I think Kanate's going about this a better way. I think he's making it a little bit more clear, like, that is going to be my sort of goal. Do you know what I mean? I've won everything domestically with Liverpool, and I've came close to winning the Champions League. The team who I lost it to was Real Madrid. It makes sense. They're offering me a role, and that's something that I want to be a part of. And therefore, I think the Gahey stuff alleviates that for Liverpool ever so slightly, because you're going to probably get 2 centre-backs in, aren't you, when Kanate goes? One of them's going to be Gahey. And then it leaves you an opportunity to decide, do you want to go for another Real Madrid approach of going for a free Upamecano, which we can talk about in a different topic, or do you go for a younger, like the Belgium centre-back from Sporting that we've been linked with, that type of profile, to replace Virgil long-term? Who knows? Do you go for Schlotterbeck, who's just unbelievable right here, right now? The club have got options, really.
Yeah, they have. I think Slot, I think it's pretty obvious Slot wants a passing centre-back. A centre-back that can pass the ball comfortably. in possession. And Virgil. Look, Virgil can pass. We know that he's got that long diagonal, but Virgil's Virgil. He wants someone next to Virgil can do that, and then he's looking maybe for the future someone next to Slotterbeck.
Yeah.
There's also a theory I've been thinking about as well, because being linked to Slotterbeck, Gay, Virgil still at the team. Leone's going to be there when he comes back from his injury, highly rated. Is Arne, and if you look at the fullbacks we got, is Arne Slot actually looking to play 3 at the back, maybe? Because
maybe in build up potentially.
Because Gay, look, if the club's decided it was going to happen, Mark Gay was going to be a Liverpool player. He didn't want to let go of Joe Gomez, because the simple thing we would have done is let Joe Gomez go to Palace and we could have had Gay and it's done. We've got the player. But he wanted to keep Gomez. He wants Leone there. Virgil's got a new deal. We're looking at Slotterbeck. That's too many quality centre-backs just to play 2 at the back.
Yeah.
And how much do you really rotate centre-backs? Not a lot.
No.
Is he looking maybe to change that to 3 at the back, maybe with a passing centre back, and that's why he's looking at a Mark Gay or someone like that?
I think the back 3 hypothesis is situational. I think it's momentary. I think it's moments in a game we might see a back 3, but it's not going to be our identity to its core. I also don't think it's going to be. I think we see it at times in a part of a build-up. To be dead honest with you, I think in a build-up play, like we do see that quite often. So, like if Frimpong starts and he goes, Kirkes then drifts into the centre-back role, whereas it feels like Gravenberch alternates between the role of like going forward and then sometimes dropping into the back 3. And it appears when we're trying to have ultimate control of a game, Gravenberch being brought back is why that happens. Like, what game was it where everyone flipped? Was it Chelsea where everyone flipped with Gravenberch moving to centre-back? But like again, that was to have the control of the game, and that's something that people missed. And that's why when they absolutely, all these tweets about how everyone's devastated at the thought of, Gravenberch and Robertson being alternate options for centre-back. And in the case of a crisis, by the way, this has been a topic on Twitter that's been getting thousands and thousands of interactions based on an absolute hypothesis that this crisis does happen. And people are talking about it like it's already happened. The club couldn't foresee the Leone injury. You can't do that, can you? That's not how football works. No. It is very unfortunate because he was boss against Southampton, and I think he'd sort out a lot of the conversations we're having right now. He'd be a good option.
Oh, yeah.
He would, wouldn't he? But ultimately, it's just not how it's felt. It's not.
If they're looking to get Gay in the 3, I think if Mark Gay is coming in, Joe Gomez
in the 2, though. I think he's just going to come in as one off the 2.
So do I. I mean, obviously, Mark Gay's played in the back 3 for Palace for a long time, and
with England, he's playing in the back 3.
Yeah, but I think he's got qualities that he can play in the back 2. He's got pace, he's got aggression, he's got physicality.
On the ball, fine.
Yeah, I just look at it if Virgil, because at this moment in time, Virgil's got 18 months left in his contract. I don't see his form dipping. There's very much a thing that he could get a year extension on top of what he's got. Next year, that wouldn't shock me. If you got Virgil, you get Schlotterbeck, you got Gay, and then you got Leone. That could be your 4 centre backs, and that's a heck of depth. That's quality depth. It's quality,
and you do need it, and you need the depth. You know what I mean?
Quality depth. So maybe they're looking at that.
I think that's why Slot was able to get the volume of players in as well, because he was able to explain. Ekatike, Isak. Okay, we've got both of you. We might not be able to start you both every single game. That being said, we'll get you a fair, sufficient amount of game time. And clearly they're pleased with the idea, you know what I mean? So I think we'll see more of it. Arsenal have done it with centre-backs, haven't they? Being able to bring in, shrewd signings like Mosquera, who I think is, he is a shrewd bit of business. Doesn't fall far from the tree from the 2 leading centre-backs stylistically. His experience is far shorter than theirs, but he can grow into the game. I think they're the type of players that, will accept being backups. You know what I mean? The younger players who are ready to break through. Because Ekatike, he's been great at the start, but he's still young. Do you know what I mean? So he still, in his mind, needs to prove himself more. Do you know what I mean? Like, anyone can have a good spell. So,
totally agree.
Yeah, but with Gay, I do think he'll be coming in to be a part of a back 2, and it's all dependent on if the midfielder just drops into the 3 in the build-up, I think.
No, totally agree, man. So Alexis McAllister played Puerto Rico with Argentina.
Yeah.
Last night, scored 2 goals.
Everyone's been balling out, haven't they?
11 recoveries, which is what I like to see as well.
Yeah. Nice.
54 out of 87% accurate pass percentage.
Yeah.
Man of the match. Look, McAllister's not been in form at all.
Yeah.
We understand that, and it's probably down to injuries, fitness, whatever it is, because he had a weird pre-season as well, Mac.
Yeah.
Didn't he? And it looks like there is something going on, but the club has not really said anything.
Been fully disclosed.
Yeah, but there's an issue. There's been an issue.
Yeah.
But he is the brains of our midfield, right? That's what he is. He's the brains of our midfield. Slot. I think Slot playing him in the last game starting may be a bit of a mistake because you could see he just weren't at the races whatsoever. But performances like this, McAllister might have needed these international breaks for the first time because McAllister's had quite a long rest now, quite a bit of a break. Yeah. He hasn't had a lot of breaks in the last few years. He probably needed this international break to get some fitness, didn't he? So just some match fitness.
And he loves it, doesn't he? He loves going away with Argentina. I think that's his favourite part of football.
It could benefit us, man. It could benefit us.
I was going to say, like, I think just him going back with his mates, you know, playing around Lionel Messi again and, you know, performing at the top level and getting a couple of goals. And as you say, you know what I mean? Like, just statistically looking good, you know, when it comes to recoveries and things like that. We need that when it comes to the intensity of the Premier League. And I'm hopeful that we just do see an improved McAllister because the second that I see this team start to play, it justifies the faith that I've got in them. I've got faith in the quality, and that's what's keeping me on the boat. It's just, it would be nice, and this is where I agree with the people who I think are taking it a bit too far with some of the discourse, but the bit that I don't disagree with is we do need to start seeing some good form soon, especially if we want this season to be one of, you know, ideal competitiveness and, you know, thinking we can compete on all fronts, which Gakpo's recently stated. So we do need to see that. That's what I want. But I'm glad now, like things like the Verts narrative's changing and, you know, these type of things. Because I'm seeing some more people saying, you know, Verts hasn't been too bad. And I agree with that.
He's been all right. He's not pulled up any trees yet. But I've actually gone and watched quite a few games back in this 2-week break. And Verts in reality should be on 4 assists already this season.
You see what I'm saying?
It's not actually his fault that Mo Salah misses an easy chance. He hits the post on an open goal. Frimpong, when he played the ball to Frimpong, he had all the time in the world. He miskicked it. In reality, he's almost done his bit, ain't he?
He's done his bit. I just think he's not been the worst of this team. And I get, price tag, but I think we've got to get to a point as a football community where we just start talking about like real life football again and stop, you know, just attaching every last bit of it to a number. Do you know what I mean? People say that's convenient because we said this about Caicedo, which, listen...
Oh, we did. We move on, you know.
We did and we move on, lads. We did and we move on.
Look, all football fans are hypocrites because you support your own team, yeah? So we're all hypocrites, yeah? It is life. I don't give a shit about any other club. I don't know about you, probably you're the same, James. I don't give a shit about any other club here. Right? No. I really don't. Right? I only care about Liverpool. So, yeah, am I going to take the piss sometimes? Yeah, of course I am. Yeah. Do I actually mean it? No, it's just... No. But I think it just goes over the top, like it's 007 stuff.
And 009. To be fair, I recall me defending Caicedo during that poor start because he had a poor start. Yeah. He was getting sent off in games and stuff like that. Like, he deserved... he actually had a bad start to Chelsea. This is also what Chelsea fans forget. He did.
Price. It's the price, man. I think players feel price. I think players do feel price tags.
But Vert, it's not like Vert is like gave the ball away dangerously. Yeah, he's been battled off the ball and things like that. But that's where he's had a lack of options. Yeah. And these are the things people are overlooking. They're expecting him to take on 4 or 5 players due to his reputation.
Yeah, Nick.
Forgetting that his key element is being able to bounce off of other players. If Verts went to prime Man City, he'd already be on about 5 goals and 5 assists. Yeah, because that's his style, isn't it? And that's what do you know what, Jay? I've got a hypothesis. Let me know if you agree. And I had an argument with Hussam about this the other day, right?
Never.
But I think yeah. Did you see it? Yeah, about the PSG thing. Yeah. So, right, I'm not saying we're trying to play like PSG, exactly the same in the build-up and the defence, all right? I'm not, even the intensity. But I do think we're trying to create a bit more of a long-term beneficial system that does go away from our main identity being the gegenpressing. which it has been for the best part of 9 years, which at some point, every team, Pep's noticing this now, you've got to go through a bit of an evolution, don't you? And we've had to, from Buvac to Pep Linders and so on and so forth, you have to make little changes. And I think for Arne Slot to make that, because let's also look at what Luis Enrique inherited. It was a team of moments of individual brilliance. So, you had the front three of MSN just before him. Messi left when Enrique was appointed. And then the first season was building that culture, essentially. What you do in training, the mentality to the team. And the second season was where they got the fruits of the labour by sticking to that system. Because if you remember the start of their season, they were struggling in Champions League group stages and things like that, and being heavily questioned on if he was the man who could take PSG, or was he just going to be one of these other, failure managers who just win the league in France, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he went on and built one of the best teams in recent time, easily, just with a little piece here and a little piece there. Kvaratskhelia come in and everything was just like bump, bump, bump. It was the final piece of the jigsaw. So what I also want people to realise is Enrique plays a very intricate, a very specific way of football. Everyone has a key role, and that's what makes them so dominant. And that's what I think Arne Slot is trying to do with Liverpool. I think every player has a very important role that's just going to take them a bit of time to adjust to. We didn't buy Kirches for what he did at Bournemouth. We bought Kirches for the attributes that he's shown he could do at Bournemouth, and Arne Slot's trying to apply that to his new role. So it looks foreign because you're thinking, well, we're not playing him how Bournemouth played, and we're not trying to play like Bournemouth, mate. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to play like the best team in Europe, and ultimately, players improve when the systems are better. And when we see that fluidity, thank you to Chills, fluidity increase, which is what I think Arne Slot is seeking at the moment, everyone will see what he was trying to build. So I just think we're going through a tactical evolution right now. So I'm not trying to go into like a pure tactical conversation, but do you think I've got any legs there?
It's up. I've said it. It is a transitional year. It is a transitional year, which is kind of bonkers because he won the league in his first year. Yeah. But in his first year, he just used all the players that Klopp left him. And Slot would tell you,
never changed too much.
And I think Arnold would tell everyone, he's told everyone already, he did expect to win the league in his first season, because it was a change. But he didn't want to change too much. He tweaked things here and there, but he didn't want to change too much because the players are used to it already, and they're already at that level. He's not like
his first season as Liverpool manager. He had to do that.
He weren't coming in there with a team that's 12th in the Premier League. Yeah. If a team that's 12th in the Premier League is coming, he's going to change things straight away. Yeah. He came to a team that finished third, won the League Cup, and was on the periphery of winning a title that season if it weren't for injuries. Yeah. So he's probably looked at it and go, I don't need to change too much. I'll just let the play. I'll just tweak it a little bit here and there. Salah, you don't want to run back, fine, you stay there. Things like that. And that won him the league, and he didn't rotate much. He just kept going. In the end of the day, he admits it now. He probably should have rotated him around Christmas, winter time, just keep the legs a little bit fresh. And now he's going through. Now it's a transitional year because he's got a lot of new players that he's trying to put, and they're all first team players. They're not squad players. Everyone we bought is a first team player that has to play, and he wants to play. So he's trying to transition into that way of playing now. So I know people don't like that word transitional, but it can mean many different things. Yeah, it's not. It can mean different things, but. I think we're trying to. And you can still win a league in a transitional year. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Or you can still win one of the big ones. That's for sure. Because if we miss out on the league and still win the Champions League, I'll tell you now, no one's crying. No one's crying.
No one.
And if you are crying, you're silly. You are stupid.
Well, it sounds to it though. The manager and the players want the Champions League
massively.
That's all I keep hearing at the moment.
I'm okay. Give me one of the majors. I've got to look at Arne Slot's tenure in its own individual format. 2 years and 2 super majors is unbelievable. Give me that. All right. Now I'm game on. It would be crazy.
A league and a Champions League back to back.
Yeah, if you told me the Feyenoord manager was going to replace Jurgen Klopp and come in and win 2 of those majors in 24 months, I'd absolutely bite your head off.
It always mirrors Jurgen as well.
It does.
Weren't that Jurgen's 2 first majors as well?
Yeah. Which the Champions League?
Yeah. Did we win?
No, it was what he won with Dortmund, Bundesliga.
No, at Liverpool.
Oh yeah, Champions League, and then
he won Champions in Premier League, but he could do it the other way around, Premier League.
Yeah.
No.
in his first 2 seasons. Which
Yeah.
again, man, listen, people forget, man. People forget, man. Listen, Arne Slot's a monster. He was level neck on neck with AZ Alkmaar, competing with Prime Ajax for the league.
Yeah, which tells you he's a good coach.
He's a very
he's
good
got
coach.
Coaching fundamental. It's just not going pretty at the moment. But I think we're only 7 weeks in. We're only 7 weeks in.
That's fine. Right, how many times have we got to January or December and we're top of the league? But we never went on to win the league. How many times under Jurgen Klopp were we top of January?
We were top of the league more times than Pep's City team in them years, and we didn't win the league.
And sorry, who ended up first in May every single time?
You only have to be top of the league for one day.
Yeah.
Weren't Man United second for a whole season once, apart from the last day of the season?
Yeah.
When they won the league. Was that against Man City?
Yeah.
And they finished top on the last day of the season. That's all you need to do. As long as we're in, as long as there's not many points, as long as there's not a gap, 1, 2, 3 points, and that's it between us and Arsenal all season, then I'm not going to be too worried.
No.
I mean, that year when Arsenal were top of the league for most of the season, and then the last 4 weeks City took it. Yeah. You just got to keep yourself there. That's what managers will tell you. Keep yourself there. Yeah, you'd love to be 8, 9, 10 points clear and give yourself some breathing room.
Yeah.
But if you keep yourself there, a couple of points with it constantly, you can catch them. You can make them put the opposition under pressure constantly. So, yeah, we felt that when we were going against City, that Pep Klopp years. I felt it every week. I was like, we have to win this week. Can't even draw. Can't even draw.
Yeah, it doesn't need to click right now. Like that's what I'm trying to get across to this fan base. It doesn't, and it doesn't need to be. Do you know what I think people do when it comes to looking back? They revisionize poorly because they think about one aspect of a team and think they must have been amazing. So let me give you AC Milan, right? AC Milan, when they were, think about the 3-year spell or the 4-year spell where they had that prime team and we played them twice in Champions League finals in 05 and 07. We beat them in 05, but we knew they were the superior team, but we just know we had a moment of magic and we came back.
Yeah, that's just mad. Yeah, we should never have won that game.
Absolutely madness. And then 07, they beat us. Do you know where they finished in them 2 seasons? Because they never won the league in either one of them. I believe they finished 4th in 05 and 3rd in 07. I could be wrong. They could have finished 2nd or something in 07. I can actually look this up. But I know that they didn't win the league those seasons. How mad, Jay, as a man who appreciates Italian footy, how mad is it that team wasn't winning Italian league?
I think it's because
Carlo Ancelotti was the manager, by the way.
Yeah, Juventus was so strong, man. Juventus was so strong.
This is one of the goats of the sport. But then let's also look at the way Pep Guardiola, Man City were just so strong under Pep Guardiola. It made the volume of what Liverpool won look terrible. But in reality, it was just because we came against a juggernaut in Manchester City. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
These are just facts. These are facts. And that's why if Arne Slot was to fall short on the league, because Arsenal have to win the league at some point. I'm not saying it's going to be this year, but if they're let's not forget, their depth at the back is insane. Do you know what I mean? They've bought big players in big positions. Inevitably, a club doing that type of thing has to win a league. So we have to compete with that, yes. But if we fell short of that, or if City come back, as long as we win a champs, honestly, mate, I'm all good. Like, I am all good. Yeah, I was right. So in 05, they finished 2nd. And in 07, they finished 4th. And obviously, 07 was the one where they won the Champions League.
Well, I don't know. Did they get given the league? Because Juventus got, at the end of 04-05 season, that's when Juventus got done, wasn't it?
It's not written down on this. It's written down on their seasons.
Hey, what was that Juventus? I've got to see that Juventus team that beat them to that league because that AC Milan team was ridiculous. Players do they have, man? That team must have been. Juventus were ridiculous back then. But yeah, AC Milan is, obviously Juventus are the biggest winners in Italy. But yeah, that AC Milan team was ridiculous in 05. We was arguably the better side in 07, but didn't win. It was roles reversed. Yeah, no, we were the better team in 07, but
no, they were still the better team. No, they were still the
better team. On the day.
On the day, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. We were the better team. I think what is that? The only Englishman to be man in the match in the Champions League final and never have an England cap is Jermaine Pennant.
That's mad. Jermaine
It's a
Pennant's
mad
shown
one.
some quality at times, though.
Yeah, he's got a quality wife as well. Right. Right, let's move swiftly on. Let's talk about FSG. It's 15 years now. They've been owners, bought us for 300 million when Hicks and Gillette tried to bankrupt us and
I know.
put us under. And
I know.
yeah, we would never obviously go to administration because we would have sold all our
course.
superstar players and that would have stopped it. But then sending our superstar players who took us back years, like proper years as well.
Yeah.
FSG came along 15 years later. We've won Champions League, 2 Premier Leagues, FA Cup, League Cup, Super Cups, World Club champions. They pretty much won everything. Now, I titled this The Good and the Bad and the Ugly because I think that's a fair assumption to make over the owners. It's been good at times. It's been bad at times. It's been a little ugly at times. What's your best... What would you say the best things FSG have done in the 15 years they've been in charge of Liverpool Football Club, James?
They've done a lot. Chronologically, I think the best thing they've ever done was appoint Jurgen Klopp, but I think that just speaks for itself. I don't need to go into detail about why. I think a really underrated aspect that goes quite under the radar is that training facility. The AXA. I think the AXA is one of the best things that's ever happened to this football club. In terms of the development of the players, keeping them fit, the regimes you can do there, the flexibility of what you can do with the sessions and so on and so forth. It's unreal. And even the stadium expansion as well. I think, the key focus of shifting from, just going to a new stadium and doing it that way and finding a way, to actually just build on what you've got and make it really, really good, which they have. The stadium looks fantastic and it's night and day to what it was to what it is now, in my opinion. They're things that matter to me a lot as well, because you're keeping it close to local businesses. That was one of the biggest struggles with Everton, of course, of them moving to a new stadium was you're now going to be affecting a lot of businesses and a lot of the economy in that area, which is very important, and it's traditional, so moving away from that's hard. The fact that FSG have been able to maintain that tradition as much as they possibly can and expand on it has been brilliant. And I think now that we're seeing the players that we have come in, and I'm not going to dispute they made mistakes. They did. Of course. And that was my biggest problem with FSG a couple of years ago, was that Super League thing really shocked me. And not shocked, but it did a little bit, you know what I mean? I was a bit like, you just don't get it if you're agreeing with something like that. And that for me was a big one. And it took a long time for them to get back on my side. But I think when I saw them appoint Arne Slot and Arne proved that we are good without Jurgen, I think it was just like, okay. And then you start to hear the good reviews and the long-term benefits of like the access, the AXA training centre and, the stadium and whatever have you, and what that's done to attracting players. We are like on course to be one of the biggest like clubs ever. You know what I mean? Metric wise. Yeah. We already are one of the biggest clubs in the world, but I mean, like now it's going to be.
Financially, what they're doing is ridiculous. I mean, I've always said this.
If we keep going the way we're going, like we're above Man United comfortably, you know what I mean?
Crazy, if you
which is nuts.
Because Man United had a head start on everyone because they put themselves on the stock exchange at the beginning of the Premier League. There was obviously they went into the Premier. They won the first ever Premier League. They put themselves on the stock exchange. They got all that money from Premier League football, and they were ahead of everybody in English football, ahead of everyone financially. For Liverpool to overtake them is just mad.
Yeah,
it is just mad. And I've always said this about FSG. They financially, what they do is as good as anyone anywhere, on paper, behind the scenes, dealing with all that stuff. Not like if you look at the Glazers, with Man United in a billion of debt or whatever it is, that's just ridiculous. And look how shit it's gone for them there. Arsenal, they seem to go another way since Thingy took over most of the stakes at Arsenal and improved their way. And FSG have kept it going as well. Look, they've made mistakes, like you said. They have. Every owner has. Yeah. There's not an owner out there who ain't made mistakes. But, I'd rather have them and not have them right now, if I'm totally honest. I really would.
I would like to respond to Gangandeep, and big up to Gangandeep. He's a legend of this scene, by the way. He's been around for years supporting LFC channels and channels across the football scene. But I do disagree with your comment, Gangandeep. You said, I'm pretty sure FSG didn't put a pretty penny towards the active training grounds and the stadium expansion. They took a loan out to pay for and put the debt on the club. And the thing is, you're not wrong, but they've made it work, haven't they? It's not like they got a loan out. Loans aren't bad unless you just don't manage them
Pay
well.
the loan back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you don't manage the loan well, then I'm going to be absolutely slaughtering them for making us skimp, but they haven't.
They paid the loan back, and then we just had this summer.
Yeah.
The thing is,
they actually did fulfill what they sort of were hinting all along. Like, once all this is done with the stadium, or, you know, mainly done with the stadium and the training centre, we'll be ready to spend, you know what I mean? But they've just done it methodically, they've just done it periodically, and it looks like that. Yeah, they didn't put their own money into it, but who cares? Like, they couldn't.
I don't care. I don't care whose money goes into what. There's not many. I think.
But I get what he's trying to say. He's maybe trying to say, like, yeah, we could have competed more during that time. But even look at Jürgen. Jürgen was a big reason why we didn't want to spend.
I think if you want an owner to put his own money in and buying a stadium and doing a training ground,
yeah, exactly,
and then buy players to compete still at the same time, you've got to be country owned.
Yeah,
you have to be state owned to do that.
And look
the only way to do it.
That's been in that scenario, like Abramovich, who's done stuff like that. You know, in trouble, Man City, in trouble. Like, no trouble has been brought by FSG, Gangandeep. And what we went from with the near administration, as Jamie said, we would have never actually got administration, but still, it was closer than what we would have liked. The point is that, you know, FSG haven't gave us any trouble in that regard once.
No.
Once. No. We've never been financially unsafe under FSG.
One thing I will say about FSG, they seem to employ the right people. I think when they first came to the football club, they employed people because they didn't know anything about football. They didn't know what the sport was about. They didn't know what it was all about. And they took advice off people they shouldn't have took advice off. And then once they realised them people are not good for the football club, they got rid of them, employed the right people. And since then, it's gone right. Look, were we sell to buy? Look, Tom Werner has said it himself in that American overlap when he was talking on there. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's a good interview. And he said himself, yeah, we were sell to buy at first because we needed to be. You know, that's our model. It always has been in sports. Yeah. But we try and reinvest that money properly. You know, we try and we don't try not to waste the money if that's possible. Yeah. You know, and they reinvested well. Yeah, Coutinho sold, and we got Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho, Shaqiri's. You know, we reinvested the money and made the team better.
Yeah.
Now they still will be. There'll always be a self-sustainable model. Yeah, but our self-sustainable model has gone from this low now to this. That's the difference. So Liverpool can now spend 200, 250, 300 million pounds a summer if they want to, and it still be self-sustainable. And because of that, I don't think anyone's got a problem. And if we can get rid of Deadwood that don't want to be here no more, or if a player, I don't think there's going to be some players in our club that are just not for sale. But if the manager just doesn't feel like the players, you know, it's impossible to keep him, or he just he needs to go now, and they think they can get a good deal for him, they'll sell him and buy someone that would be better for us, that will help the club more. And I'm not worried about that sort of stuff. I'm not. I think self-sustained stuff. I mean, you look at Arsenal right now, they don't. I think next summer, I think a lot of people will see Arsenal doing a lot of selling and not as much buying because they've got their squad now. Liverpool are in a position right now because they sold so much this summer. They could actually go ahead next summer and still spend. Liverpool could outspend a lot of teams again next summer if they really wanted to. Yeah. To keep building this squad. And it's taken us a while to get here, but we're here now. Someone said
it perfectly before as well. Arsenal added to their squad. We replaced a lot of our squad. And that was a key difference to their window to ours as well, which I think some people forget. And I think it was SKH or SHH who just said in the comments there, you know, something along the lines of that stadium expansion and that AXA training centre cost us an extra 2 or 3 players that could have won us the league. The problem is the extra 2 or 3 players that could have got us from 97 points to 99 points. Yeah, maybe, but then you're prolonging the actual evolution of the interior of your football club. The thing is, you never get to Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz doesn't choose you over other giants without the training improvements. You couldn't have sold Melwood to players like Florian Wirtz.
If you found a Liverpool fan, and unfortunately for him, he was in a coma. Yeah, he woke out of that coma, and he wants to know how Liverpool done. And the first thing you tell him, Liverpool, excellent, finished on 97 points this season in the Premier League. 97 points, never seen anything like it. When's the trophy lift? When's the parade and all that? Oh, we finished second.
Yeah.
Is that the owner's fault?
92 points and a quadruple chase.
It's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult, ain't it? It's difficult. And I'm not saying the owners ain't been... Look, the owners were at fault when Jurgen Klopp went to the centre-back. We all agree. The owners were at fault. He wanted Kanate. The owners didn't want to play because we could have got Kanate. We could have got Kanate early, but you had to pay money on top of Kanate to get him out of that deal. They didn't want to do it. But look, as soon as the season ended, they literally bought Kanate. So, yes, they've made mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and pretend they haven't. That was terrible. They should have got him a centre back in. Might have earned our title. We might not have. Who knows? Mistakes have happened. All owners make mistakes, but I'm looking at the way football's run right now with PSR and all this stuff going on and the Premier League regulations about financial wealth and all that. I don't think it matters who your owners are right now. I really don't. I really don't. You look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa has spent so much money, but now they've got to sell a lot of players.
Yeah.
Because they've not got the commercial revenue because they've not been successful enough in the period they've been spending money.
Wage bill too high, yeah.
So if you're spending all this money but you become successful, then yes, it's easier to get, but they've not been successful while they've been spending this money.
Exactly.
So Newcastle are spending a lot of money, but they won the League Cup. But apart from that, they've not, got a Champions League a couple of times. But they need to keep in the Champions League every year now while spending this money, and they'll be absolutely fine.
Well, also look at Everton when they were buying Richarlison and all these players. 50 million on Richarlison, and I think didn't they spend like 30 million on Michael Keane or something like that?
Yeah.
Like 25 million or something like that. So again, they had their big spending spree and just didn't improve off of that.
Well,
they never made anything sustainable.
Look at Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Chelsea spent 1 point
for a league title under this ownership once.
No, and they've spent almost £2 billion under this new Clear Lake ownership. Yeah,
that's the difference. This is why I hate these like Caicedo, Gravenberch comparisons. Because don't get me wrong, Caicedo is quality, and I'm not
he's a baller.
Yeah, he's amazing, and I think the two attributes where he surpasses Gravenberch is the passing and the tackling. I think in them two areas, fine. Every other area, Gravenberch clears him. Gravenberch just won 5 league titles.
Got some breaking news.
Oh, go on.
So the guy who broke the news about Wirtz originally, the buying guy, right?
Who is it?
What's his name? Christian Falk. He was the first one to talk about Wirtz from Germany, a German journalist. He has just tweeted, said there should soon be contact between Liverpool and Borussia Dortmund regarding Nico Schlotterbeck. The defender is interested in a move to Anfield.
Yes. Come on, Schlotter.
Yeah, so that's breaking just now. And I remember Christian Falk was the first guy out of Germany talking about the Wirtz deal. So I'll give him a bit of credit here.
I think we've got the Germans on lock, lads. I think they want to come to
come to England, mate. Enjoy.
Yeah,
exactly, man. Exactly. But look, I've had my problems with FSG in the past. James has had his problems. I know the Coppish boys are Sam. We've all had our problems with them, and I think we have problems with all owners because we're fans and we want the best for our club. Liverpool are a ginormous football club. Even if they didn't pay for everything out of their own pocket, they still gave us what we've got.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've got a brand new training complex. We've got pretty much a brand new stadium. Let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just going to give us more commercial revenue. It's going to give us more revenue in the years to come. Obviously, they would love to expand on the COP, but it's pretty much impossible to do. Liverpool Council. Obviously, you got the church across the road, which is a rated 1 building. You can't knock it down, so you'd have to build a bridge over the road, I believe.
Yeah,
it's crazy money you're looking on it. So it's going to be difficult to do. And now they're buying the players in. They're giving players the big contracts that we've always asked for. Why can't we give players 200, 300, 400 grand a week? We're doing that now.
Yeah,
they see positions where they can do that. Do I think
we're
going for someone like this
to me, you can't win. The summer also proved to me you can't win because they went and bought Isak, they went and bought Wirtz, and now I'm seeing fans saying, "Oh, we didn't need Isak, we didn't need this player." Oh, what about Ekatike? Like, we've got one. If we only had Ekatike, we have one striker on paper. One striker.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious that's the only player that you think we needed? But this is why, like, you've waited years and years for what you've got, and now you're not even changing your tune. You're still giving FSG stick. I'm seeing people in the comments say it now. Know what I mean? I'm doubting Slot, I'm doubting this, I'm doubting that. And they've done everything they can to get a perfect piece together. It's like, again, stop looking at every individual season. Look at what they're trying to build for the next 4 to 5 years. All right, if worst case scenario fulfills, we have a bad season, I'm still on board with the project because I think the project tells me we're going to win a lot of trophies over the next 4 to 5 years. However, do I still think in this moment of time, as of the 15th of October, we're going to win the league and potentially the Champions League? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, why not, man? We've got to believe.
Why can't we?
We've got to believe.
Either one of them, definitely.
We've got a quality side. Big up LFC Monster says, can't forgive 2 things. The Super League, I hear that. Oh, yeah, they're putting the staff on furlough. I hear that as well. I do blame the British government more because they gave them that opportunity to do it. But yeah, I hear you. I do agree on them terms. And obviously trying to copyright the name Liverpool so they can have the ownership of Liverpool is wrong. But you got to remember as well, they don't come from here. They're Americans. Americans do copyright.
Can I be a bastard? Can I be a bastard, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a well-articulated comment. The thing I would respond to you with, for me, I can't forgive FSG on 2 things, right? You can't forgive. What does that mean? I'd be so intrigued. Does that mean you want them out? Because if you can't forgive your girlfriend for something she's done, it likely means you're going to break up with her. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you can't forgive FSG on those 2 things that you've just mentioned, would you get rid of them tomorrow if given the opportunity? Not you, Jay. That's what I'm asking the lads who put in that comment, because I think anyone who get rid of FSG tomorrow is a bit of a sausage. Myself, I
wouldn't swap them for anyone right now.
Literally no one, and then you get rid of Edwards and stuff like that as well. So, listen, I think I understand what you're trying to say. Them 2 things were terrible, you know, in their own ways. It's not ideal that those 2 things did happen, yes, and they've got them blemishes, but we've got out of that now, I think.
Yeah, we live in look, I know things are not going right now on the pitch, yeah, so a lot of people are down about it, and I totally understand it, yeah. But when I sit back and look at it, I've got Alisson Becker, I've got Marmadashvili as goalkeepers. I've got Ekatike and Isak as my 2 strikers. I've got Wirtz, the most wanted number 10 in Europe. I know people will say other things now, but he was before he joined Liverpool, yeah. You know, I've still got Mo Salah here. I've got Alexis McAllister. I've got Gravenberch. I've got Szoboszlai as this world. I've got Frimpong, Ekatike. I've got extremely good footballers at this football club, you know. So, yeah, they've done things wrong, but if you look at that as well, yeah, they're doing a lot of things right. They employed Jurgen Klopp when Brendan Rodgers went. Thierry Henry, everyone remembers Thierry Henry on Carragher's leg, and then Thierry Henry turning around to the camera and saying, "These owners don't understand football." When they sacked Brendan Rodgers, but then employed Jurgen Klopp, then Jurgen Klopp decides he wants to leave for whatever reason. He's legend at the football club. Everyone in football, Liverpool are finished, Liverpool are done. And then I looked at it and went, right, how do we get the best out of this? Let's employ the best person we know behind the scenes who knows how to work at this club, Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards has got so many contacts. Let's let him run the football club for us. We sit back, we let him run it. Michael Edwards employs Richard Hughes. He's one of the best sporting directors. Gets Richard Hughes in. Richard Hughes then goes and hires Arne Slot, who then comes in and wins the Premier League in his debut season. So they get a lot right.
Do you know what I want to add? Yeah, and do you know what I want to add is the economic prosperity around the stadium has never been better. Hotels, pubs, scarf sellers, match day program sellers, all these little businesses that you see on a match day for those who visit football matches, these do live off the match day revenue that they make. They can literally take weekends off based on the idea that they make enough money on a match day weekend. Chippies have got queues going down multiple streets.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
forget
you
about
have
that.
so many food stands, you have so many of these little businesses
You,
that
you
are
got,
allowed to be there that we haven't had to go away from, that
what's
are
that shop?
thriving. We
You
have
got,
more staff employees in the stadium than we ever had.
yeah,
Record revenue being spent on staff members,
people making
all
more
due to the
money.
internal changes that FSG have made. It's
People
hard to
making more
notice that when they've just proposed the Super League back in 2019. But as of right here, or 2020, as of 2025, it really is, you know, it's great on my city. So just as someone from the city, and I never want to speak above people who aren't from the city, but these things can't be ignored because people close to me are thriving due to these decisions that have been made off the pitch. You know what I mean?
No, I'm
So
with
I
you,
think
man.
that's got to be looked at as well, because I'm seeing these match days and the atmosphere around a match day outside the stadium is one of happiness. You know, everyone's working. You know, it epitomizes what the city's
Yeah,
about. You know what I
I,
mean?
I think we forget about stuff like that, like the little
Mhm.
retailers outside. You know, because
Yeah,
the stadium's now 60,000, that's
yeah,
15,000 extra people coming to the
yeah,
stadium, which means there's 15,000 extra people that might fancy a chippy supper, you
yeah,
know, want to go for a pint, who want to buy a
yeah,
program. So it's more money in people's pockets. So everyone's
yeah,
getting wealthier out of it. So
yeah.
yeah, I totally agree. I think we forget about that a lot. A lot. But look, guys, I ain't going to leave it there because I have got to go on Cal's MMA show now as well.
Me.
We'll be back next Wednesday, guys, and we'll make it even longer next Wednesday. So don't worry about that. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow for, obviously, I'll be live at 9:30 and then live at 10:30 on my Big Up channel with the Coppish Boys. So that'll be great tomorrow. James, you got anything coming up at all?
Not on plans at the moment. Been a bit quiet with the international break, but I'll be back for the United game, doing a little match reaction to that for sure, and
Sweet.
stream with yourself next week. And I'll probably be on with Hussam, Tom Little, and the Coppish lads come Friday.
Friday. And I'll be in Liverpool for the Crystal Palace game, guys. So
That's right.
You there? Yeah, I'll be.
That's
in
right,
Liverpool
mate.
for that
That's
game.
right.
Looking
I should
forward
be
to
at that one.
Sweet. We'll have to meet up.
That's right.
I'll be in that old Colesberg lounge in the main stand. That's where I am.
I've said to you, haven't I? I've said I rate
Yeah.
that lounge. I think that's one of the better ones in there, to be honest.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Big up the wife who bought me that, by the way.
Fun fact, I was in the Carlsberg lounge. I think I might have said this on the stream. I was in the Carlsberg lounge for the Thiago goal against Porto. And a mate recorded it for me, and he got the goal first, and then my reaction, he panned it to me after the goal. It was a brilliant video. I need to show it to you on the stream. It was a great one.
That'd be beautiful, man. That'd be beautiful. Guys, I'll this is going to redirect you to Cal's channel, the Sanderson Show, for our UFC chat. So make sure you go over there and just say Jamie Raid. Big up to everyone here. Big up to James as always, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow.